Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to Getting in the Herd podcast here at the McShin Foundation. I am your host today, Walter Randall. I am excited to be here today on Testifying Tuesday. Yes, here at the McShin Foundation, weekly, we come on Getting the Herd, and of course, just as I got my sidekick in the background, he always that invisible voice that you don't see, but of course you hear, and he definitely have words of proclamation. So I'm glad to have Justice in the background with me. But on my right, I have with me today my main man, Mason. Yes, and here at Getting in the Herb today, I am honored. Nathan, he's not with us today, but he gave me space to bring in Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. Yes, this is a 12-step biblical perspective ministry that operates here at the McShin Foundation. Yes, we come here every Sunday from 9:30 to 11. We are live. We are live here at the McShin for our viewing audience. And we thank you guys for your continued participation and support in Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry here at the McShin Foundation. For those who are not quite aware of all the great pathways of recovery that happens here at the McShin Foundation, we are so grateful for long-term recovery. Yes, we don't focus on just AA or NA or CA or Smart Recovery, but all of those anonymous programs, those pathways of recovery are welcome here at the McShin Foundation. So today, again, Testifying Tuesday, Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. We allow every third Tuesday, the brain Breaking the Bondage Addiction Ministry here on this platform right here, Getting in the Herb, hosted by me, Walter Randall. I am the founder of Breaking the Bondage Addiction Ministry, but I'm just grateful that the McShin Foundation, who are sponsors Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry, allowed me this space to come and to talk about it. So today, I'm gonna share a little bit about the ministry. I want to share the ministry mission statement. I'm gonna talk about our goal, and and then I got one of a good friend of mine, Mason, who I met on the 12-step perspective. Narcotics Anonymous. That's how I met Mason. But just having that relationship with him, and over the years, when God called me, being the founder of Breaking the Bondage Addiction Ministry at the McShin Foundation, Mason made a decision to come over one day. Mason told me that, he liked the teaching, the way it was being taught, his perspective of how we can identify the step, and the Bible scripture goes with the step. And since that time, Mason has been one of the faithful members. So I'm going to give Mason some room, some space, to share his experience. And then we're going to dialogue, monologue, back and forth with the 12-step perspective of Breaking the Bondage Addiction Ministry. But let me tell you that Breaking the Bondage Addiction, our mission. I want to make sure you guys understand our mission at Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. So our mission, here it is. Here it is, you guys. I want y'all to listen to this, right? The mission is, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captive, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Come on, you guys. What y'all think about that, man? Everybody have to have a mission. What's the mission of this ministry? Our mission is to go out. Because the Spirit of God is upon us. We not called to stay behind the four wall. We not like church, where everybody go to church and, you get prayed over and you get laid hands over, you get baptized, you get all those, all those ritual settings. And that work, God knows that work, because that helped me. But I'm telling you, man, but when God has called you to go out, the Spirit of God is upon you. He'll call you to go out, into community, and to the street corners where the guys who got the bags and the sign. That's what we were called to do. Not only we was called to do, but our mission is to identify that was once in us, that we could go out and we could share our experience, and we could compel them to come, not come into the building, but come into a relationship with God as they understand him. That's our mission, is to go out, preach good tidings unto the meek. In other words, you got to be humble. You got to be humble in your approach. You can't tell a person what they shouldn't do in order to have a relationship with God. Share your experience on what you did do, because your experience is what will drove them. We also, in our mission, is to bind up the brokenhearted. What did that mean to you, to bind up the brokenhearted? In other words, when your heart is broken, God have to break us in order to use us. Come on, man, because of the brokenness, because of the things that we went through when we thought they was happening for our bad, it was actually happening for our good. Come on, man. So I got to go out here and let a brother know, I understand what you're going through. I understand the pain. I understand the suffering. I understand how you are broken, how your heart is broken. But man, look, hey, you got to learn to leave those things aside and learn the things of God. So you got to get what? Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I love that brokenness. And then the last part of that is to open up the prison to them that were bound. Come on, man. I'm just not talking about the prison doors. No, man. I'm talking about the prison, right? In our mind, how we are locked in our way of thinking. We are bound to one way of thinking. We're trying to open up your mind. Come on. You can't grab the new concept on a closed mind. We're trying to open it up. And it's our job to go out there in the community and find those. So that's the mission. That's the mission. That's the mission of breaking the bondage of addiction ministry. And I'm just so grateful, that here at the McShin Foundation, they allow this type of ministry to come in. And that's what Testifying Tuesday are all about. Talking about our mission, our goal. Here it is. You ready? This is our goal. Our goal is to, here you go. Let me find it. Make sure I say it right. Because sometimes I get so excited and what God has given me that I like, Lord, God, it is just great what you gave me. But I got to slow down so the people can hear the words that's coming out of my mouth. So here our goal is. Our goal is to enlighten, empower, and equip individuals with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom through the word of God concerning addictive behaviors. That's our goal, man. It's to enlighten, empower, and equip individuals. I'm talking about you, and especially you, with knowledge, with wisdom, and understanding through the word of God concerning addictive behavior. We know, hey, Justin, we know it was the drugs and the alcohol, right, that got us to this point. But it's God, as we understand him, to help us deal with a lifestyle of change. And we know change ain't changed until you change. And if nothing changed, nothing changed. We're talking about the behavior, you guys. I'm just so grateful, Mason. It has been 26 years this September the 2nd. I haven't used no drinking, no drugging, no mind, mood altering substance, but I am in relationship with a foundation of a 12-step program. I'm in relationship with a biblical based understanding. I'm in a relationship with God people because I still have what? Addictive behaviors. Come on, man. I haven't arrived nowhere, man. I may be drug free, but I ain't drug proof. Hey, I got to keep my behavior up front. I got to check it at the door, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have an identification of what God has called us here at the McShin Foundation. And again, Testifying Tuesday. No. Don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about religious. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. I'm talking about relationship. I'm talking about a spiritual foundation that what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And so here at the McShin Foundation, they had just opened up to many pathways of recovery. And this is the second time, this is the second Tuesday that we have ever been able to breaking the bondage of addiction ministry up, on the podcast. And I'm excited because they made way for every third Tuesday. I want you to remember this. Every third Tuesday of each month. That means 12 times a year. we get to bring breaking the bondage of addiction ministry on the Tuesday. But we are live. We are live every Sunday from 9:30 to 11. From 9:30 to 11. And again, I have to my right, I have a good friend of mine. I have met him and watched him over the years, and we find ourselves on some of the same road in our recovery. Of course, having an understanding of the spiritual connection, and that's because that happens when you work the principles that you find in the steps in a 12-step program. Some people just come to 12-step program and staying clean is enough for them, but then you have those who actually work the program way, whether it's AA way, whether it's NA way, whether it's CA way. But if you work that way, then there's a spiritual connection that happens. And that spiritual connection is not based on money, property, prestige. It's not based on your gender, your sexual identity. It's not based on your color, your religious or lack of religious. It's based on spiritual principles. Don't come in conflict with each other. And that's what has happened in our relationship. We have developed a love based on the spiritual principles. My religion is different than his religious, but our relationship is the same. That's why I'm grateful we don't have that religious conflict when we are under a spiritual guidance here at Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. But Mace, I want you to share a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get to our collaboration with Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. But I saw you from another perspective. I think it's been over 10 years ago, man. So why don't you introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself, and I'm gonna listen to how God speak to you. And hey, here it is. Maybe you can identify with Mason walk, and you can realize your walk, your relationship, that you think some things has happened to you, but God want to use those things. Come on. It said the affliction of the righteousness. So you could be in right standing with God and have went through some challenges and thinking that it was working against you, but no, he want to use you to be an example. And that's what I have found in Mason. Come on, Mason, I'm going to be quiet now and hear from you.
Right, thank you, Walter.
Hey, Mason, real quick, can I get you to get a little bit closer to the microphone?
Sure.
There
sure.
we go.
We good now?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Walter. Thank you. I tell you, man, this is amazing. I knew that one day that things would change for me. I come from a long road of addiction. Of addiction. It took over my entire life. 5 decades of constant using narcotics. Constantly using narcotics. And how did that happen? How did that happen? When I was a kid, I was being hauled off every Sunday to a church, and we would go to this church, right? And I used to dread it, and I would go there and scream, and so for some reason I didn't like the way that guy was preaching, and so where I lived there in the country up in Spotsylvania County, there was another church down the road less than a quarter of a mile. Now, what I saw was 2 Baptist churches with 2 crosses on them, 2 identical faith, religion, however you want to call it. But the only thing is that one was the Caucasian ministry and one was Afro-American ministry. And I got confused right off the bat because I wanted to go to that one because the church looks better. The grass was cut, man. I'm telling you. And Mama said, no, you ain't going there. And right there then, I lost my way. I lost my way. And I remember running away from home early, in my early years, just running with mixed emotions and not understanding anything, man. And as I continue to grow up, I found out that I had a father somewhere that I never knew. I thought this guy who raised me was my father, and I think I was about 13 when I found out that this guy was not my father. And that was a turning point for me. I no longer took orders from anybody. You know, I kept running off, and when I got old enough, I went on into the military at an early age, at 17, and you know, right off from that point on, I started doing drugs. From that point on, man, you know, I had tried a few little marijuana things and all that stuff, but I'm talking, I got on hard drugs and I could not come off. Could not come off, man. So my entire life, with all the opportunities that I've had, many careers that I could have had, you know, was shortened by the drug use, and a few times of incarceration. So here I am, at the age of 55 years of age, you know, and man, I tell you, you know, that way that I was living, that way I was feeling, it's ceased. It ceased one day, and I found this program. Now I've known about this program, but I'm talking, I found this program because I knew I had enough. I was done. You know what I'm saying? So I came into this 12-step program, talked about it, and I got centered. Now, I want to go back a little bit. Now, my religion, I'm a seeker of truth. I'm a seeker of truth. A lot of people see me as this person and see me as that person, but I said, no, I'm just a person. I'm just a human being that looks for the truth. You know, you see my attire. You know, we will relate that to the Muslim faith or Islam or whatever. Okay, well, understand, I had to understand what that was. I just couldn't just say Muslim and Islam. I had to understand, what do that mean? And when I found out what that mean, man, I said, well, wow, I've been doing that for a long time. You know, seeking understanding. You know, trying to find wisdom. You know, finding the God of my understanding, someone that I can accept. You know, something that won't judge me, you know, and that's what the program opened up to me with, those spiritual principles that were led by that 12-step, man. They got me started on the path of recovery. You know, and you know, today, you know, I work a program of recovery. Like Walt said, nobody is perfect.
Nobody.
But I work a program. I have opportunity to help others. Can you imagine that? You know, help others. You know, with some of my life experiences. You know, while I was out there 50 years now, I didn't just do drugs. I was picking up some stuff along the way.
Amen.
And it's like God just brought me into a place and said, now we're going to put all of this stuff here together. We're going to put the mischief to the side, and I'm going to bring you with all of that other stuff that's good. Come on, everything bad with me out there. You know, I did a lot of good things in active addiction, man, you know, and so I'm grateful for that. But, you know, coming in the 12-step program, man, getting centered, man, and going through the steps, and I continue to go through the steps, you know, and sponsoring guys and sponsoring women's and all of those things. I never thought that I would be that guy that would be able to offer anybody anything. But, you know, they always say, don't look at the messenger. Listen to the message.
Listen to the message.
You know, and so maybe I was at that day, that time, the message for the people that I sponsor today. You know, and so I'm so grateful, man.
You know, you said one thing, Mason. I want to go back before we get too far, because I don't think you're gonna come back to this. You know, and listen, you guys, look, I'm always excited when I sit beside a veteran. Somebody who spent time in the military. Hey, Justice, they put me out. I'll tell you, man, look, man, I was 20 years old. They sent me to Germany. They wouldn't let me do time in the United States. I was bad. They sent me all the way to Germany. And it was something about that Bacardi and that hashish. You know, y'all call it hash, but over there they call it hashish. It was just saying, one no weed, one no marijuana. It was something about smoking that hashish and drinking that Bacardi. But what got me, the worst part of being in the military, is that lifestyle. You know, I used to ration sugar and cigarettes and, you know, the liquor. And like, you could get a carton of cigarettes for like $4, but you could sell it for $20. So I get everybody C ration who don't smoke cigarettes and get trunks of. Oh, hey, please don't send the FBI out after me. don't,
Yeah.
don't send the CIA. None of them people,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But I tell you, man, spending that time in the military, and that's what my addiction kicked off. I didn't realize those guys from New York that I met when I was in the military, how I got addicted to the lifestyle. And I learned how to hustle even more. So even at some point, like you were saying, when I was able to put down the drugs and the alcohol, it's still with that lifestyle, that addictive behavior. And just like you, talking about trying religious, because I tried religious, I tried Christianity, the change, the lifestyle. I just couldn't adapt to the Christianity lifestyle. I didn't believe that the prayer was actually going to work. I needed something tangible. I need to see another person, who experienced, and that's where the 12-step come in at. But when you had said something about that military, I said, I want to jump in and let Mason know I've been there, tried that, and tried religion. I tried so much, tried so much, but when you said something about Muslim and the principle behind it is seeking understanding, that's what I've been doing. And I'm grateful, for a 12-step program. I'm grateful for pathways of recovery that now, right, I could sit in AA, CA, Smart Recovery. I could sit inside the mosque, the temple. I could sit inside the cathedral. I could sit inside a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I'm seeking, I'm hearing, I'm in touch with understanding. And that's what I believe. I believe it take a man to teach a man how to be a man. It take a woman to teach a woman how to be a woman. But I got to see the sermon. I just can't hear it no more. I need to see the miracle. And here it is, you guys. If you were to pause right now and go look in the mirror, by you looking in the mirror, you're going to see the miracle. You are the miracle. It's your responsibility to go out and share with somebody, show somebody what the God of your understanding, what seeking understanding has done for you, and how change ain't changed until you change. Oh, sorry, Mason. I just had to jump in and get that in, but yeah, we not here. I told you, man, we'll dialogue, we'll go back and forth the whole 9 yards. We not like a 12-step meeting where you got to share, then got to raise your hand or you get fat. No, man, I like this type of conversation that you could say something that would strike my spirit and remind me, that we are more similar, because I didn't know that you was in the military. There you go, man.
That was a good thing for me. I thought I could hate the military. I didn't like the way that they put me out.
Yeah, they put me out too.
But what they did, they didn't give me that certificate. What they did say, I want you to take this DD 214 and get out of my army. And I still retain all the benefits in terms of medical and all those things. Now I didn't know God was working.
That's good. Yes.
I told you 5 decades of using. So where's my retirement? Where am I at the age of 66 years of age? Okay, with all the health issues that I have overcome, certain things that have happened to me through the process of being clean, and how do I live? And God, the God that I serve, has provided all those things. Can you imagine the military telling me that I was crazy and they gave me a check?
What?
And I never thought. And I said, well, God, you got a sense of humor, because I think I got good sense, you know what I'm saying? But if you think I'm crazy, the mailman keep coming by my door every month and I'm okay, and so I'm grateful for that. So when I go to the VA hospital to get medical attention, I don't have to pay a dime.
That's That's good.
And my mother had put an insurance policy on me while I was in active addiction because she didn't know what day she would see me on the news. So I kept her on her knees. And so when I finally got myself together, she handed me the insurance policy to let me know that if anything were to happen to me today or tomorrow, that my burial will be taken care of because it's already been paid up. And I already know where my cemetery is going to be, in the Arlington Cemetery. So God said, now you are free to carry this message that you have no distraction. And I don't have any distraction. I have to tell you, I don't struggle. I have situations and circumstances that may come up that I have to get through and get over with, but I don't struggle, because I have a God that said, if I stop fighting, the struggle is over.
Yes.
You
Yes.
see, if I stop fighting, the struggle is over.
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't tell my God about my problem. I tell the problem how big my God is.
It sounds like something I used to say.
Right?
I got
And,
check.
yeah, I'm just telling you, that's the way it is.
I love it.
And that's the relationship that we have. And something that I want to back up on too. At home, I take clothes off and I wash and all this stuff. Then who am I? Who am I when I take all of this off?
Yeah, come on now.
Who am I?
Come on.
I'm the same guy if I had it on. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, an old sponsor of mine did this to me one day. We was walking the dog. And he say, Mason, I'm going to put 5 men over there.
Okay.
And they're not going to have any clothes on. And we was talking about religion.
Okay.
Now, with no clothes on, who are these 5 men? Now, if you put the clothes on and they got different ties, then you look at them in a different way. See? And so a lot of people have perceived me to be this and perceive me to be that. But like I said, again, I'm just a seeker of truth. I like wearing kufis. I really love it. And I like the Islamic teaching, but I also like the Christian teaching, because and when you look at the books, there are 2 magnificent books. So I pull from both books. And I don't downplay anything, because I know that is the word of God is coming forth, but it's coming forth from that direction and from that direction and many other directions. You know what I'm saying?
Mason, you just scrap on something, because here on Testifying Tuesday, that's what I like to call it, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Testifying. I wanted to go back and I want to identify, use the word overcomer. I wanted to go back. I didn't know how much you want to testify or how much you have overcame, but you talked about being an overcomer. And I'm here, to share, and I'm proud. I'm proud that God, with His help, with all the God power, because I tried treatment the same night I got on treatment, I got high. Through Narcotics Anonymous, I have relapsed. But me coming this relationship with God, and because I seek understanding, now I see how treatment, the seed was planted. Now I see how Narcotics Anonymous, it watered the seed. But this relationship I have with God, it's like He had caused my lifestyle to multiply abundantly. It's like it's greater than any life I have ever lived, just come into a relationship with Him. But it's this text that I so Mason. I ain't for sure. I'm gonna go to this text. I'm gonna come back to the overcomer, because I want you to be able to free yourself and share something. But it's this text that I saw, and you had just spoke about it, right? When you talked about it, I think I mentioned to you, it's in Genesis 25 and 23. And we talked a little bit about this Sunday, Justin, at Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. And what the text said, it said the Lord, He has said to Sarah, right? You have 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. So when I read that text, that's Genesis 25 and 23, it said 2 nations. Just the fact when it said 2 nations, what I thought of was how God would speak through the nation of Islam and the Christianity. And when you sat here and you say you have 2 books, right? And when I look at the nation of Islam, at the nation of Islam, like you say, you just said it. Don't look at the Kufic, because I was asking Justin, what if they were on their head? I didn't want to say a hat or disrespect it, but when you said the Kufic, and when you sit here and talk about seeking understanding, there are so many pathways of recovery.
Exactly.
There are so many pathways of recovery. But I believe, this is my belief, I ain't impose this on nobody, but because of dogma, because of what other people say about different pathways of recovery, we don't give ourselves the room to learn. God, He operates in a universe. The earth is the Lord, the foot is thereof, everything belongs to Him. So when we begin to try to identify how God works, we miss the opportunity for God to work. I'm telling you, man, this man behind the scene, I talk about justice all the time. Early and then his voice will come in from nowhere, right?
That's good.
But this man behind the scene, he shows me so much love, so much appreciation. He support the ministry, not just here at Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry, but everything that operates at the McShin Foundation. I'm not even going to talk about his income and not even my income, but you can't pay the value and the time and the support that that man put into what is in his heart to do. That's love. Now, you don't have to go to a book, right? All you got to do is spend time. Because that's what the God of my understanding want from us. It's our time. What is time? I'm glad you asked what time is. Here it is. Time is things I must earn. Spend time with God.
And you say, and I like that.
Come on.
I like that because, we mentioned the thing called overcomer. And overcomer. And what I want to share with the audience that trust and believe me that the power greater than me can bring me through anything. And I'm going to give you a little rundown of just my medical medical condition in the last 10 years. Now, remind you that I don't mind disclosing this here because I'm free. That I've been diagnosed with HIV for over 40 years. Okay, 40 years ago, I thought I would die with AIDS, and no. God said no. So when I did get clean, I realized that I had what they call the hepatitis C. And so, and like I told Walter, the VA takes care of their own. And so they were able to give me a cocktail medication to keep the HIV undetectable. And they gave me a Habani pill to cure the
Jehovah Rapha, the God that healeth thee.
Yeah, right. And to overcome the hepatitis C.
Come on, man.
Now, and I say thank you. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share with you why I'm on this quest. In 2010, I got clean. In 2011, I had a back surgery for the L3, L4 lumbar diffuse. Then 2004, I had a hernia operation. Then 2005, I had a prostate operation because I found that I had cancer in my prostate. So they removed my prostate. And then the following year, I found out that I had lung cancer. So in lung cancer, they gave me the radiation treatment. And then 2 years after that, then I had I was about to be crippled, and they found out that my cervical spine was curling like a banana. So they put 8 screws in my neck. And so this is what I am. This is my body. This is what has transformed in my body in over the period of 10 years. And so it's easy for me to understand how God works in my life. And make no mistake about that, because every time that I laid on an operation table, there was always somebody whispering in my ear, say, "I'll see you on the other side." Come on, And I get on the other side, and I goes home, and I don't have to take narcotics, and the pain is just, I go through the pain. I go through the pain, and one of the things that kept me sane through one severe pain, that I thought about the punishment that they did to my love Jesus. And I said, if Jesus can go through what he went through, then I can go through this. And I took it to look at the doctor, and I said, "Doctor, bring it on. I'm in pain, but bring it on." And I never thought I would be laughing while I was in pain. Come on, man. And I just wanted to share that, man, because if you're out there, and if you don't believe that there's a God, if you don't believe that there's hope for your life, I tell you, you're going to hear some testimonies such as you just heard today, man, that this power, this God that we seek is real.
Well, you know what, Justin, I don't know why I keep calling you all. I know you behind the scene, but you just said something, Mason. Now, I don't know if Justin a Bible total scripture quote, I don't know, but somewhere I think it's in the Bible that said that Jesus 40 is the number for testing and trial. And I think was how many stripes did he get? Was 40, 30, 32? I don't know. But something's going on with this number 40, because this is what I just heard. I just heard this man saying that for 40 years.
Yes.
Man. And then check it out, right? Then I heard him say when Jesus was hung up on the cross for our infirmity, for our sin. That's what I heard, man. I just got to get it to you, Justin, right? Jesus said, it is finished, right? He was hung up. It was finished. 40 years, right? HIV is finished. But this is what Jesus said. Now, even though he said it was finished, it wasn't done because he still had work to do. And I see this man still doing the work, man. You know, with things that you have overcome. You talk about hepatitis C, and you talking about cancer. You talking about 8 screws. You talking about all the things that you have overcome. It's like your work, man. It's like God is still using you, you know, because there's more work to be done. It's finished. We can stop. Your 10 years of using, it's finished. But the work ain't done. You know what I mean? It's like it's more work. For all the things you have overcome. And I do believe that we overcome, right? We overcome so we could go out and talk about this stuff. That's one thing I'm so grateful for the McShin Foundation, right? Once people are going through things, they help people here to overcome. They put pathways in front of you. They don't say, okay, because you're a Muslim, you can't come here, or because you're a Christian. They don't say because you're on Saboscan, you can't come here, or because you're on methadone, you can't. No! Now here's the McShin Foundation. They bring it on, bring it on, bring it. Our goal is to get you to complete abstinence. But look, man, I have watched people come here. I hope, look, when John go back and watch this podcast, I hope you don't get rid of me, Justice. But I have watched people come here with no income. And guess what he do? He helps them out, man.
The first time I came in here, I had absolutely nothing. I had no money, no job. I think I had a bag of clothes. I didn't have any food. And I was so worried about, I remember sitting in the first group, the first day that I was here. And I spoke up and I said, look, you know, I just moved into Chamberlain, I think. And I remember saying, I'm really worried that I don't have anything to eat. And I remember people just kind of looking at me. I don't remember who they were, but they just looked at me and they were like, don't worry about that at all. You're not going to you're going to eat plenty good. Like, we'll cook you dinner as soon as we get back to the house.
Like that.
And like all day, I remember people just get, hey, are you hungry? You need something to eat? You need something to eat? And like, I was so concerned about getting a job and getting food that I wasn't even really that concerned about recovery, you know. And people were just like, no, food is food, and money and that type of thing is the last thing you need to think about when you're here. You need to focus on your recovery. You focus on your recovery, all that other stuff will come. You know, all that other stuff will come. And Mason, I actually have a question for you.
Yes, that was good. That was
you know, you just told us that, you know, you got diagnosed with all these different health conditions, and that's got to be like, I was sitting here listening to everything you said. I'm just like, oh, like, I know
that's
how
the mighty God we serve.
Yeah, well, I know personally how that would make me feel. You know, like I don't know if I'd be able to not just, you know, and this is just me. I don't know if I'd be able to not completely just give up and just be like, I'm, you know, okay, thanks, you know, appreciate all that. At any point, you know, that had to have affected your recovery somehow. Like, did it affect your recovery at all, or did you?
Yeah, by all means. I had to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when I was diagnosed with HIV, I was told that I only had 6 weeks to live.
Wow.
So 6 weeks to live, I said to myself, I'm gonna go and put as much drugs in my body as I possibly
of course.
can. And so the 6 years,
6 weeks to live,
the 6
done.
weeks turned into 2 years. And the same drug guy seen me one day and he said, aren't you the guy that said you gonna die in 6 weeks? And it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
And boy, if he didn't give me a cursing out, man. But from that point on, my confidence began to build. And so I tell you how God the beautiful is. I was so afraid to talk about it in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at a meeting down south, and for some reason this guy just stood up and said, my name is so and so, and I have HIV, And I've been clean so many years. I say, thank you, God.
Mhm.
And I got up and said, hey, and I was free.
Now, my next question for you, and this may be kind of a personal question, and it you know, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Fine.
Did it ever affect your faith?
My faith?
Yeah. Did it ever make you question your faith?
It elevated my faith.
Elevated your faith.
Yeah, it elevated my faith.
All right.
You know, I knew that they say all the time, say the devil is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when that doctor told me that I was going to die in 6 weeks, and I knew that he was lying because it was 6 weeks had been passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My faith began to develop then. Now I made a butt out of myself for a long time, kept bumping my head against the wall because I knew that God had me. You know how
Right.
when you I don't know if you got raised by your father, whatever, but if you keep on giving you things and keep on giving you things, they don't allow you to work for it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like, think you can con God. So I just kept doing what I wanted to do. And he kept just watching over me, man. I'm talking in the halls of active addiction. You know, he watched over me.
My mom and dad, I love them to death. They're amazing parents, but they cut me off at one point. You know, it was just $20 here. Can I get this here? And you know, I mean, I was stealing pills from my mom. You know, just doing all the horrible stuff that we do in active addiction. You know, and she had caught me multiple times and did never call me out on it and stuff like that. But it got to a point where they both just cut me off altogether. And my dad has always been, you know, a very firm believer in you have to work, you have to earn your keep and all that good stuff. And I honestly, like at the time when they cut me off, I really was I was resentful, you know, and I was like, how could you do this? I'm your son. Don't you love me? You know, them cutting me off was kind of just like yeah, we love you to a point where we're going to make you figure this out. And I mean, I was in my early 20s, you know, I had been, it was time for me to go out and earn my keep, you know? And I had a job and everything, but I was spending all my money on drugs, you know, drugs, alcohol, you know, all the terrible stuff. And I wasn't paying my bills. I wasn't paying my rent, but then, you know, I'd go broke 2 to 3 days after I got my paycheck. And all of a sudden it was like, hey mom, hey dad, you know, you guys have $20 you could loan me, you know, I'll pay you back. I swear. Yeah. Never, ever have paid them back yet. But yeah, I'm very, very thankful to them that, you know, they, I guess you could say gave me that opportunity to learn for myself. Like there was a few days where, you know, well, a few weeks where I was eating a lot of ramen noodles, you know, and I had to learn how to budget my money and I'm still not very good at it. You know, I'm very thankful that I have my girlfriend that can actually has told me several times, let's sit down and actually make you a budget so that you know, can get yourself straight. But I still spend money on, you know, fun stuff, you know. But yeah, that was kind of a tangent. So I didn't mean to like veer off course or anything like that.
No, by all means.
When you said, you know, cut you off, that kind of reminded me like of the time that my parents actually cut me off.
See, that's what testifying Tuesday about. I tell you, it's always a voice in the background that when it jumped in, man, it's like you have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying. Because I'll tell you, man, that guy back there, he just don't know, man. Since I have come in relationship with Justice and watch how, you know, he matriculates and help out around here. And when he shine in, he give you a whole different perspective. And that's one thing I like about the McShin Foundation. And we talked a little bit about this earlier, Justin. There's many pathways. You know, there's no particular I, you got the dot, T, you got the cross. You know, there's no particular. So when you speak, and we talk about testifying Tuesday, your testifying is gave reference to someone else because somebody else, mom, love them enough to let them go, to say no to words. Then we say, mommy, daddy, why are you doing this to me? And they said, baby, you just don't know. I'm doing it for you. And we don't see it till years later.
How long have you been involved with McShin? Because the reason I'm asking is a few years ago when I first came in, it didn't seem like there was, you know, the multiple pathway. The only pathway to recovery that I ever saw was Narcotics Anonymous. And to be honest, that's what turned me off from recovery in general. You know,
Right.
I looked at Narcotics Anonymous
Yes.
as, I hate to say it, almost a cult type thing.
I'm glad
you
you
know,
said it because I hate to say it too.
and that's to an outsider coming in. That's kind of how it can look. But when it comes to recovery, you have to be very vigilant about your recovery. You have to be around other people that are vigilant around your recovery, or else it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And it didn't work for me the first time because 6 months in, oh, I got this, no problem, I've recovered. You know, that word recovered that people like to use sometimes.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as recovered, and we all know that. But yeah, I started shying away from going to meetings, and I shied away from the community, and I just didn't like the whole, the cult aspect of it. I hate saying that word now because I know that it's more like a club instead of a cult. You don't have to be a part of it. There's no one saying you have to stay, but we all know what happens if you don't stay.
What choice you got?
Yeah, exactly.
Go get that.
Yeah.
No,
now my chosen pathway is not Narcotics Anonymous. I like Smart Recovery.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Smart Recovery is fantastic for me because it's a more what's the word I'm looking for? To me, it's a more realistic approach to recovery. One of the hardest things for me to grasp was the idea of a higher power, because I didn't know what that looked like for me. But with Smart Recovery, the things that they focus on were things that I could wrap my head around, things that I could understand. I've always been the type of person where, I have these senses, and the only way that something is real to me is if it hits one of my senses. If I can see it, if I can taste it, if I can smell it, like that's what's real to me. And with Smart Recovery, it was okay. These things are real to me. What to do if you're in a situation and there's alcohol and you're triggered or something like that. Just basically realistic approaches. Now, I will say that I have a sponsor that practices the 12 steps, and I work through the 12 steps, and I love the 12 steps because that idea of spirituality, I use that every day, every single day.
Yes, you do.
There's so many situations and so many things where I'm just like, okay, you know what? I work a spiritual program, and this is beyond my control. There's no reason to get mad. This person did something I didn't like. Okay, I can't control them. I can only control how I react. So yeah, just kind of on the whole theme of multiple pathways.
Yeah. And you know what? And it was here at the McShin Foundation, where I really embrace, many pathways of recovery. I used to work at this place called Rubicon, the men's treatment facility, right? And I tell you, man, they helped me even there, to accept harm reduction, risk reduction. If I could get a person to come from 12 cans of beer down to 3 cans of beer, then Walter, that's progress. That's progress. You know what I mean? Now, everybody like 12-step program, like Narcotics Anonymous, everybody don't practice complete abstinence. They focus on complete abstinence. No drugs, no alcohol. And when you have that stigma on complete abstinence, what about the person who's on medicated assisted treatment?
I was just about to bring that up.
You know what I mean?
Just about to bring that up.
You know what I mean? It's like the doctor, no, you trying to get off the opioids, what it's going to do to your body. So they prescribe you methadone. Now, you can tell me the person who's on methadone is not in recovery. They are in recovery. That's their pathway. Maybe they can get to the complete abstinence. But just for the day, this is the reducing the harm that's happening in their life. And that's part of their recovery process. So
I hear
that opened up the many pathways. Yeah. Come on, talk to me, testify.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that as well, because when you use that word, abstinence, you know, the misconception about that is people take it and use it one way only. They don't see it no other way.
Right.
Abstinence, if you ain't abstinence, you can't be covered. Well, you need to read some more books. They have a book I call In Times of Illness, okay, in recovery. And that book
I need to read more.
That book is awesome. In other words, and I say this in wholeheartedly, when I look at my addiction, this disease that I suffer from, I look at it as a condition. Okay, I treat it as a condition.
Right.
Like I take medication for this, I take medication for that, and I take medication for this addiction, condition that I have through the 12 steps, through the 12 biblical steps, because I work on both. And that's my medicine. That's how I get well. We don't get I don't get whole. I don't like you say recovered. No, I get well. I get better.
Thing.
And so I'm just grateful for the path that I'm on, because it's a beacon of hope for many others that are closed-minded, because they say this thing is about attraction. So one may attract and one may not attract. But if you look at it, we're all in this thing together. And I truly believe that the forces of good matches us up.
Yeah.
But I never know where my help is going to come from. I never thought I would be here, sitting here.
Yeah.
You couldn't have told me that 10 years ago.
It's a difficult thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good. No, you're good.
It's a difficult thing because when it comes to MAT, there's really two major schools of thought about it. And they both make sense. There's the one side of the street, and I got to make this quick because we're coming up to the end of the hour here.
Yeah, man. Testify Tuesday.
The one side of the street, you have, the abstinence-based programs, and the people that are like, well, if you're using Suboxone, if you're using methadone, you're just getting high legally, and in all fairness, I know plenty of people who have been on Suboxone for years. And it's like, at what point are you, just staying on, a medication like that because it's making you feel some kind of way, feel a certain way. But at the same time, on the other side of the street, you have the thought process of, well, you know what? I would rather you be on Suboxone for 10, 15, 20 years than, somewhere sticking a needle in your arm that you don't know where it came from, shoving stuff into your veins that you don't know what, and both sides of the aisle kind of have a platform. They have an argument. That's right. If it were me, I would like to see more of a taper situation. Right. MAT is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're going to get on MAT, I feel like you should really be working towards not necessarily a sustained use of say Suboxone. You should be working on some type of taper situation, where at some point you have a goal or a plan with your doctor to come completely off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just my opinion, though.
And and this argument, and I know you're gonna wrap it up. I'm going to close it in for you as well.
All right.
This argument even happens when you inside of the methadone clinic, because again, you have a community of people, who on sustainability. Now, how long do we begin to take with this person off to whereas in this person may be on a sustainability of 50 milligrams? Went from 100 milligram to 50 milligram. It took 2 years.
Right.
Now they're at 50 milligram.
Right.
To whereas then you got another person who is at 100 and ain't trying to come off.
Right.
So you got people in the clinic who have arguments about methadones. You got people like us who don't use methadone have an argument while they're using methadone. It's like people going to discuss what people going to discuss. It's going to be argumentative. What's going to be argumentative. But I'm here to testify that whatever works for you. Share your experience, your strength, and your hope. And with the words of your mouth, that's how we overcome. That's what the God of our understanding, spirituality, our relationship has done for us. And we talked about how he worked through us. Not our opinion, not our thought, and especially we have not experienced. Just shut your mouth. That's a great time to learn to listen and listen to learn. But we were to talk about how God has allowed us to overcome. Then we can testify to his goodness. I'm grateful for the McShin Foundation, Justice Mason, that allow us to even bring conversations like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in Tuesdays to come, you know, I want to bring, because this is Testify Tuesday, I want to bring other spiritual faith leaders here, you know, to have those other type of discussion. So we can really unpack, you know, who is this God? You know, and again, if God is too much for you right now, let's just roll with the acronyms. Good, orderly direction. But that's what we do here at McShin Foundation. Again, Justin, thank you. I know there are some announcements that you can give us, what's upcoming here in the McShin Foundation. But I want you guys to be in tune to Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry every Sunday from 9:30 to 11 here at the McShin Foundation. Also, hey, guess what, Mason?
Yes.
Also, we're going to have our first year anniversary of Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry. It's going to be October the 24th.
Yes.
It's a Sunday from 9:30 to 11. Please come out. And after the service, we want to feed the multitude. We're going to pray over our 2 fish and our 5 bottle load, and we hope all of y'all get fed. Thank you again for tuning in to Get in the Herd here at the McShin Foundation with Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministry on Testify Tuesday. Take it away, Justice.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Mason, for coming on. This has been a very, very good conversation. And thank you for Sarah Chiarello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She has been all over these comments, and I'm sorry we didn't actually mention them on air, but it was more just a thank you comments, and that's awesome. We always love hearing from our guests, our live viewers. So tomorrow, Wednesday at 2:00, we have host Nathan Mitchell back in the studio, and we have Mr. Johnny Fab, who is a regular watcher of the show. He comments all the time. He's usually the first one in the comments, and he'll say something like boom, which is awesome. So Johnny, we welcome you tomorrow. He is with the Pennsylvania Recovery Advocacy Project. And Nathan is actually going to be going with Mr. Shinholzer himself to Vegas for what is it? Mobilized Recovery. That's right. Yeah. So that's a pretty big deal. I'm kind of jealous, honestly. So that's happening tomorrow with Johnny Fab. Thursday, it is me hosting the show.
Okay.
I got my recovery coach certificate, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to have a new person in recovery coming on and be checking in with them. Those episodes are actually really, really valuable because those episodes are the ones that really give us a glimpse of what life is like when you first get to McShin. We always talk about how much we love it here and how much opportunity it's given us. But what about when you first get here? That weird first 2 weeks to a month when you just don't know many people. You're just getting clean, so you feel kind of funky and just getting your life back together. That's those episodes are really a good glimpse into that. So thank you all for watching. Please tune in tomorrow, 2:00. Walter, Mason, always a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you all very, very much. And we will see y'all tomorrow.
Testify Tuesday.
Testify Tuesday.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation,
we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.